What is going on, everybody? My name is Bobby Sampson. He is Mr. Chance Michaels. Welcome to the boxing show, Samp&Chance. Here we go, Mr. Michaels. How are you, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. A slow January in the world of boxing, eh? There's a lot of fights going on, but nothing really major until we get into the month of February.
Yeah.
But we do get one great matchup this month, perhaps, potentially. Or it could be complete wash. Inoue versus Kim in Japan this Thursday on the 20, oh no, this Friday on the 24th in
Early
Japan.
Friday morning. They're gonna fight about 3:15 in the morning our time, roughly.
Yeah. So we got to get this guy out of Japan, man.
He said he's gonna fight. Actually, he might have a fight in what was Bob Arum saying, maybe April or May at MGM Grand.
Well, let's see. Let's see. I mean, the reason I say that, the man, he's 31.
Mm-hmm.
And his last fight, he was taken to the distance. I'm not saying that diminishes his greatness in any way, but things are going to start to catch up. The longer he takes to get to North America, the weaker he is. And then if he ends up fighting Bam, Bam's just going to kill him.
Yeah, I guess they're making so much money over there, it's hard to move him, right? They're
It is,
selling out,
but
they're
I
making
mean,
money hand over fist. So it's like,
this guy's such a talent. He's just being hidden. You know what I mean? Like the rest of the world doesn't really see the guy. And it's not that people don't know who Inoue is. It's just the fact that he fights at 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, he hasn't fought in America since 2021, so 4 years. It's a
Yeah,
long
it's been
time.
a long time, right? And even then, I mean, how many people were tuning in to see him fight,
Not a whole lot.
right? But let's get into this fight, man. Inoue steps into this fight with 28-0 with 25 KOs, going up against Ye Joon Kim, who came into this fight on 2 weeks' notice, man. This fight was initially supposed to be against John Goodman. Unfortunately,
Sam Goodman.
Sam Goodman, sorry, due to his reoccurring eye injuries. I mean, the guy had to pull out. Inoue's asked about it. He goes, you know what? It's a blessing. It allows him to train more. It's
Mm-hmm.
given him more time to recover, this and that. So no one's really giving Kim a chance. But the one thing Kim does have, he's 7-0 against Japanese boxers. If that, and he's never been put down. He's also the younger man. No, wait, he's 32. Sorry. He's the older man in this fight. But I mean, an opportunity. I mean, it's almost Tyson, what's his face? The guy he fought in Japan.
Buster Douglas.
Mr. Douglas-esque type of style here, potentially, but it doesn't look like that. Your takes on this?
Oh, like I said, well, I mean, Inoue is obviously one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. He's got boxing skills. He can knock you out with both hands, not just one hand. Any hand can knock you out. That's how talented this guy is. He's been down a couple times his last few fights, but he gets up and he wins. Not only does he win, he finishes you off. When Odino Rodere knocked him down, he's been knocked the last two times. Inoue's been knocked down. It's been both with the same punch, left hook, because he's dropping his hand. So I know Kim's gonna be looking for that. So if he does catch him, it's gonna be the left hook. Mark my words, because Inoue drops his hands. Sometimes he gets careless, and he got his orbital bone fractured from Donaire when he got knocked down, and he still came up, won the fight, and knocked him down. Where a lesser man would have either quit or would not have the wherewithal to come back and finish your opponents like that. So I mean, Kim's got nothing to lose. He's only lost twice. He's got 13 KOs. He's Nobody really knows who he is over here. He's big in Korea. He's ranked number 11 by the WBO, so he's a formidable opponent. But in a way, it's just too much. He's too relentless. He's too strong. Nobody can finish him. He's been knocked down, but he's got the heart of a champion. My prediction, I think, in round 6, round 7, rest stoppage via TKO, and the monster prevails again. But in saying that, Kim has a long shot, but it's not looking good. The odds for this fight is insane. You got to put $1,400 down on Inoue to win $100.
Yeah,
So if
I
you want to
mean,
make $1,400, put $100 on Kim, and you'll get back 14.
there you go. There you
It's
go. Well, I
insane.
mean, just look at the last four fights that Inoue had going into this one, right? I mean, Fulton, Topole. I mean, they were reigning champions. I mean, he took both their belts, right?
Mm-hmm.
All four of them from them. And I mean, he's not at that level. Kim isn't in any way,
No, he's not.
right? So, I mean, this is almost an easier fight than the four fights that he's already had. Plus, take into account that Inoue's had more time to rest and get better.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look good for Kim at all, in my
And
opinion.
Kim's never his. Let's be honest, the guys he's fighting aren't in the caliber of the guys that
No,
Inoue's fought. So there's
no,
that too.
no.
So I mean,
But
he's
we
got
can
nothing to
never.
lose, which makes him dangerous. But
But you know what, man? There's always room. There's always time to make room for another Mungia incident here, right? So, I mean, anything can happen. We saw that happen against Jamie earlier or at the end of the year here. So, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's something there that we can potentially look at.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm in totally agreement with you, man. It doesn't look it doesn't look good for him in any shape or form.
I'm
Now,
glad Kim stepped up, took the fight to Inoue. So we still got to watch Inoue fight, which is always a treat to watch because
yeah,
whether you like him or you don't, I don't know how you can like him. He's such a classy guy, but he's exciting to watch. He's
no,
one of the most exciting
100%.
fighters in boxing. He's one of my favorite boxers to watch.
Yeah.
I hope he finishes off Kim so we can get him at the MGM. And if he does go there, I'm going to go there and watch him.
Yeah, but we should go there. I mean, if nothing else, I mean, it's probably cheaper than going to Japan, right?
Much cheaper.
There you go.
So
There
it'll
you
be a good
go.
fight. So 3:15 a.m. West Coast time. He'll be fighting. It's free. It's on ESPN, which will be on TSN out here. So
Right.
anybody can watch it. So
Now,
can't complain in a way for free, right? He's one of the best fighters in the world.
no,
Still gonna
dude,
watch him for free.
it's great. It's we're lucky for in that sense. But hey, let's move on here. Before we go on to the next topic, I just want to ask you a question. Do you think, as we get closer to the Benavidez Morel fight now, do you think David Benavidez's temper is going to get the best of him in this fight? Like, is this guy Morel knows how to push all his buttons, man. He's like,
Nah, I think when the
you're like, fuck. What did he say? Fuck your dog. Fuck your cat. Like, I mean, David's saying some really, really raucous shit here.
well, he's always been a little bit of a loose cannon, and so is his dad. So that's the apple don't fall far from the tree on this one. But no, it's all for show. I mean, I believe they don't like each other, but they got to sell the fight, right? So they're amping it up a little bit. There's obviously some realism behind it, but no, when the bell rings, Benavidez is the top 10, 15 fighter in the world. He'll be fine.
Well,
So he'll want to kill him and hurt him, but it won't affect him.
yeah, yeah, but it
He's
just
too
feels like
disciplined. He's too smart. His dad's too smart when it comes to the boxing game, and it's just all for show. Get us talking about it.
even when we were sitting with him that day, like I said, remember he said we brought up Morel's name. He goes, "Who?
Mm-hmm.
Morel? Who?" Like even at that time, he didn't like the guy. So I
Yeah,
mean, it's kind
and
of
it's
built
good
up
because it makes for a good fight. The more they don't like each other, the more people are interested, and the more people want to buy the pay per view and watch the fight. So I don't mind it at all.
that we've seen David fight. This has probably got to be his biggest challenge coming up, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be a good fight. I think he's gonna win, but it's gonna be a good one.
Going to be a good one. All right, Mr. Michaels, you've been busy on the X platform, man. You've been putting out these really, really cool lists that we've been looking at. I thought maybe we could talk about one of these ones. You've done a couple here, top five Canadian boxers, and then you did the commentators one. Which one would you like to talk about?
Whatever you feel like. They're both good lists, and do one now, one next, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
The top
why don't
five
we do
Canadian
the
or
Canadian
commentators.
championships, man? Let's talk about
What's that?
let's talk about
Yeah.
the Canadian top five boxers here. Um, First off, I want to ask you what possessed you to kind of come up with this compilation and what did you decide factoring?
Well, on the show, I always do American history, boxing history, Canadian history. So
Right.
in doing that, I'm always studying Canadian and boxing history. I read. Well, I don't read. I listen to audibles now because at nighttime my eyes are too sore. Um, so many books on history of boxing history, so I'm learning it all the time. Canadian boxing history, American boxing history. So you just pick it up as you go. You start putting the puzzle together. You go back on YouTube. You read this article. You do
Yeah.
that. You mix and match. You throw it in the pot, and you come up with this. Basically,
All right. Well,
a lot
let's
of it's
start
from my
it
notes
off,
from the
man.
show that I just read off. A lot of
I
it.
like it. I like it. I like it. I'm really impressed by what you put here together, and I can't disagree with any of it. All right, let's start with number five here, man. I got it all written down here. Arturo Gotti, even though he was born in Italy, Gotti moved to Canada at a young age and fought under the Canadian flag in the Olympics before turning pro. Known for his exciting all-action fights,
Oh yeah.
Gotti was a fan favorite in the division. Gotti, Mickey Ward, absolutely. You met Mickey Ward, and I
Oh,
remember you telling me that he said that he still feels the effects.
yeah. So I met Mickey Ward at the Rumble at the Rock in 2010. You know, you did a little meet and greet. It was free. My good friend obviously put it on, so obviously I get a little extra access and shook his hand or whatever. And it was right when The Fighter came out. Great movie. Whoever hasn't seen The Fighter with Mark Wahlberg, who plays Mickey Ward, you must watch it. It is absolutely a brilliant movie. And I
Yeah.
shook his hand and blah blah blah. And he just a little small talk. And I said, "Hey, I love those fights with Gotti. They're awards." He goes, "Yeah, Gotti hit me so hard in the first fight with a left hook, it shifted my brain, and I can't see you 10 feet in front of me. I see double on my left eye."
Did you think he fought him again so he could hit him again to shift it back the other way?
Yeah, I don't think he didn't realize it. He told me he didn't know that till years after.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I just felt like a thunder." And I said, "Those fights were epic." And he said, "Thanks, man," and shook my hand. And it's, you get a minute to talk with them, and it's kind of like, move
Sure.
on. There's the next guy. So that always stuck with me that he said that. So, and Arturo Gotti is one of my favorite fighters. Yeah, when he stepped up the A-level fighters, he lost. He lost to De La Hoya, beat his butt. Mayweather beat the brakes off him, but he had the heart. His eye would always get cut all the time. He just knock him out or he'll knock you out, and that's the way it was. And I love the guy for the way he fought. He did off the out of the ring, he did some questionable things, but in the ring, it's one of my favorites.
And his son is
Sorry,
making his way up now.
what's that?
His
His
son is
son.
making his way
Yeah,
up now. All right, number 4, you had George Chuvalo, known for his incredible durability and toughness. Chuvalo fought in the heavyweight division and famously went the distance with legends like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. He never lost by knockout out in his entire career. He also won the Canadian Heavyweight Championship. Chuvalo, yeah, he's a Canadian legend,
oh
man.
yeah,
Absolutely.
tough as
Um,
nails.
Tough as nails. Now, was it Ken? No, it was Ken Norton who broke Ali's jaw.
Yeah, and
This
also George Chuvalo fought Muhammad Ali in 1971 at the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver.
wasn't
So
that at Exhibition Park?
no, it was at Coliseum.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay, let's double check that just to confirm. But I don't know why keep thinking it was at Exhibition.
no, I was in the Coliseum.
It was in the
Yeah,
Coliseum.
I was
Okay,
inside. Yeah,
in 1971. So Muhammad Ali has been here as well, eh?
Yeah,
He loved Vancouver.
yeah. It's a beautiful city, man. Everybody that
He
comes here
loved
loves
it.
it.
He loved it. He
So
loved
beautiful.
it.
The mountains, the ocean, the weather. Like, look at the weather today.
Yeah, no, it's cold. I'll take cold and
Yeah,
cold. I'll take cold and sunny any day.
yeah. It's too bad Joel never got one of the prestige heavyweight belts, and we got the Canadian one. But what a tough guy! Never
No,
got knocked out, knocked down. So hats
when
off to George Chuvalo. And actually, funny story. I actually was in Walmart probably like 5, 6 years ago. And when they still had CDs, I'm looking around, and I see a picture of George Chuvalo on a CD cover, right, with his gloves up. Who was it? Our Lady Peace put him on. They actually have a song about him. It's called Heavyweight, and he's on the cover of one of their albums. I thought it was pretty cool because obviously Rainmate is a big boxing fan. He trains boxing. Pretty boy, but he's tough, and big George Chuvalo fan. So hats off to Our Lady Peace for trimming out to George Chuvalo. Not many people are doing that.
Yeah, no, I mean, unless you're in the know, Georgia Follow is who you'll know, right?
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he never, like you say, gained that kind of momentum or that name recognition in the
yeah.
world. And that's unfortunate. I mean, but I mean, when he did fight Ali and when he did fight Frazier, I mean, they were great fights. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
would think those would be, even in a loss, those would have been stepping stones for him to get.
yeah. They couldn't knock him out. Big
No,
tough guy, right?
right? Absolutely. All right, let's move on here. Lennox Lewis. He represented the UK. Yes, he is from the UK. Came
Yes.
to Canada as a boy. Represented Canada in the '84 Olympics.
88.
'88, sorry. That was the same Olympics that Ben Johnson got caught doping and all that. I
Yeah.
don't know how much of that took away from that moment for Lennox
Mm-hmm.
because everyone was just consumed by the Ben Johnson's controversy. But it seems to me that Lennox found his British roots again.
Yeah.
But I
I
mean,
don't know if I like a lot of people put on the list. I was hard to put him on here. I mean, he was born in the UK. He represented England, but he did win a Canadian gold medal. So it's like you can call him best British boxer, you can call him best. He's kind of like on the cusp. It's a
well, I
gray
mean,
area.
let's take it. Let's take
We'll
it
take it.
because I mean he represented Canada. He won a
Yeah.
gold medal for the country,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the '88 games were in Tokyo that year. So,
Yeah.
he won the gold medal. That's an amazing feat in itself. Has any other Canadian won a gold medal in heavyweight boxing since? No,
No.
right? And what he's accomplished in the ring throughout his career, I mean, to me, he's still one of, well, I mean, Usyk now, but
Mm-hmm.
he is probably the purest of the purest when it comes to undisputed,
Yeah. He's one of the best boxers of all time. Beat the
right?
crap out of Mike Tyson. His
He
last
wins
fight.
all his losses.
Yeah. Well, separate. Well, yeah. This last fight was a little bit of controversy. He fought Vitaly Klitschko, and then Klitschko got cut, and they stopped the fight. Gave the win to Lewis because he's up on the scorecards. Klitschko wanted a rematch, but Lewis retired. He wasn't scared. He's getting a little bit longer in the tooth. But yeah, I
Well, let's
love
get
Lennox Lewis.
anyone,
He's a
but
great guy.
Lewis is one of those heavyweights that you look at, in my opinion, that transitioned out of the ring comfortably into normal life. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
And he's a great commentator too when he does
He's a great
commentating.
commentator
Yeah.
too, and the man stopped with all his faculties. You know what I mean? Like he still is able to
Oh, he's
think,
sharp.
and his
Yeah.
cognitive is there, and he's promoting now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a great guy overall. Just a good ambassador of the sport.
All right, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the old
But we're
school
going
guys
old
here
school
now.
now.
Now we're going old
1890.
school. Number 2, George Dixon, the first black athlete to win world championship in any sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. And when you say any sport, are we talking the big four in North America or world?
Any sport, baseball, anything, because they didn't have black athletes in baseball at the time, right? So
Yeah.
it's the first one.
Respect to him, man. And we're going back now. It's really hard to find any footage on him or anything. So a
Oh, it's
lot of
just
it,
so you can see some pictures of him, but there's no video of him really, man.
everything,
I mean,
everything we know about him is based on historians and people who were there. Actual
bantamweight
events.
title, yeah, in 1890. Born in Canada, just for that alone, he's one of the all-time greats, and his record was insane. It's too bad there's not better footage, but we're talking 1890, folks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And considering the weight class too, bantamweight, featherweight. So he wasn't like a huge man or anything.
Yeah.
He just got to.
And it's amazing that he won that because boxing was so corrupt back then, and a lot of guys didn't want a black guy winning a belt. So for him to even win that belt, who knows how rigged some of this fights could have been in the refs and judges? Who knows back in those days, right? So impressive that he pulled it off.
Right. And those were the days where they were fighting 15, 20 rounds at a time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And not wearing gloves sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you got to think about it. The gloves that they were probably wearing were kind of like what the football players, those little pigskin caps.
Yeah, the leather helmets. Yeah.
In those days, the leather helmets.
Yeah.
The evolution, man. I mean, where do you think George Dixon would have fit in today in the bantamweight?
I think it'd been right up. I think it'd right up there in the mix of all the top guys.
Do you think he'd be the top guy?
I don't know if he'd be the top guy, but he'd be up in the mix.
But in his prime.
Probably. He'd be one of them.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, man. Last but not least, number one on the Samp&Chance list of top flight Canadian boxers, we're looking at Sam Langford, often regarded as one of the greatest boxers never to win a world title due to racial discrimination. Langford was known for his versatility across weight classes and record of 178 wins and 30 losses. And 178. I have 178 here.
Yeah, 178 wins, 30 losses, and 38 draws. This man fought a lot of fights.
Yeah.
He was feared by everybody. A lot of people compare his power to Mike Tyson's power. This guy fought over 300 times. Just a beast. What a record. Imagine all the headshots he's taken. Just tough as nails. 15 rounder, 20 rounders. Insane.
When you look back at history and racial discrimination, real racial discrimination, not the crap that they call racial discrimination.
Yeah, they didn't want to win a belt. So that's what I was saying before. They were probably screwing him with the judging and reffing and promoters, right?
No. But just beyond that, beyond Sam Langford, beyond George Dixon, just look at all the great athletes that never got their just due. Respect to Babe Ruth, respect to Joe DiMaggio and those guys. But if you look at the Negro Leagues, there were guys in there that were getting bigger numbers than them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's not to say that the quality of the pitchers were any less. The pitchers were the same. They were the same quality. It's unfortunate a lot of these athletes don't get recognized for their contributions, man.
Yep. Yeah, it's a top 5 Canadian list. I mean, you could take one or two guys out and another guy in there. Honorable mention like John Pascal, Adonis Stevens. There's so many good ones, but those are the guys. Langford and Dixon are 1 and 2 just because of their record, what they've done, and the historical context of what they've been through. These other fighters never went through any of that kind of stuff, so they have to be 1 and 2.
You look at the history of what they went through. Absolutely. You look at the times. All these guys that you have on this list that you produce here, in my opinion, are the top 5. Why? Because they went through the hardships. I'm not saying boxing is soft. It's still a tough sport.
Yeah.
But today's boxing is nothing compared to what Lennox and all those guys had to go through.
Exactly.
How they fought, the way they had to fight, the technology behind them, the recovery, this and that. Like these guys are babied now. I'm sorry. Hyperchamber Chambers, Ice Bass. Like you just look at it like Bobby Orr, if the technology had caught up to his knees at that time, he'd had another 10, 15 seasons ahead.
Oh, easily. Right?
The man had to stop at 10 because of his knees.
I know, it's too bad.
Right? You look at like Achilles heels, the heels injury. Once you got that back in the day, your career was over.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? Now you can get it fixed and be back in the ring, the field, the pitch, the court in 6-7 months.
Yep, about that.
Right?
High-level athletes recover pretty fast.
No, 100%. But I mean, again, those were the times. That's just the way it went. I get it. But I love the list, man. I think it's great. I can't wait to do the next one that you have up here.
The commentators one, that's fun.
That's
I'm
looking forward to that. Yeah, we'll get that one up there next week as well. Brother, man, I tell you what, based on everything we've just talked about, is there anything going on in the world of boxing history?
Yes, it is, actually. These are very, very notable names here. Big George Foreman, the one and only, with the famous grill, famous boxer, great commentator too. great personality. The Foreman movie was awesome. I loved it. But Big George Foreman scored a huge upset win in the heavyweight division. Shocking second round TKO over the one and only one of my favorite fighters. I love his personality, Smoking Joe Frazier, on this day in 1973, not in America, in Kingston, Jamaica. After defeating Ali, Frazier had two defenses after that until he ran into Big George Foreman. Frazier was a 3-1 favorite in the fight, and Foreman wiped the floor with him.
Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
That was a time, man. If you think about it, there are a bunch of them. Foreman, Frazier, Sonny Liston, Ali.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a killer's row, honestly.
I recommend everybody, I said it many times, go onto Audible and download the Sonny Liston book. That guy, the way he would live, go to a heavyweight fight, then sell heroin for the mob in Vegas, go gamble all night, give fake names, cheating on his wife. I'm not saying I condone it, but what an interesting story. What a character. Going to people's front yards and the guy's mowing his grass, punching them out for the drug debts. He's just a crazy character.
It just shows you that you can be world champion, but you still need a second job in those days.
In those days, yeah. And he was a street guy growing up, and he says, man, like, you know, when I fought Ali, the black Muslims that Ali was rolling with, they came up to me and my trainer and they said, hey, you're going down in this fight or else. No, Ali didn't have nothing to do with it, allegedly. But still, this is the kind of stuff that was happening in those days, you know?
I'll be honest, man. There's a lot of things. Like, I love Ali. I think he's an amazing, you know, inside and outside the ring, obviously, right? But the one thing I do notice with him is, like, how many of these situations were created?
Well,
right?
All I got to
For
say,
example, there's that one story of where he talked a man off the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the time it took him to get there, this and that, with all the traffic, it was impossible for Ali to arrive at that time that he did. You know what I mean? So it's like, how much of this is fabricated? How much of it is set up, you know, to kind of promote it? Like, even back in those days, these things were happening. Probably easier to get away with just because there wasn't the technology.
Yeah, there's no cameras everywhere and stuff, right?
Right? So was Ali, how do I say this? Was Ali a fighter that was kind of protected by the government in a way because they saw the value in him?
At first, no, because they suspended him for not when they drafted him, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But after that, yeah, well, just go read his quotes that he used to say. They were not nice things he'd say about interracial couples and stuff. Like he apologized and moved on in the 80s and stuff. But yeah, for a while there, he did a lot of bad stuff.
Well, he was really angry too. I mean, you think about it, they took his careers away, right? They took away his livelihood. He lost a few years where who knows what Ali could have been.
Yeah, same thing with Tyson. Tyson lost 4 years too when he went to jail for the rape, right? So they took Tyson was justified, right? Ali's wasn't, but they took all this career away from these guys, and who knows what they would have done in those time. Tyson was never the same fighter after that.
No, definitely. I just realized my mic has been sitting up on the ledge here, so it's going to be kind of weird sound that we're going to get today, but I guess we'll work with it. What can we do? Wow. What an interesting
and Canadian history. I was going to keep saying the same thing. There's nothing really in Canadian history this week, but February 7th, Rumble at the Rock at the River Rock Casino Resort. One of my good friends is helping out. He's bringing the ring. So we got one heavyweight title fight, the U.S. champion versus Canadian, and there's another title fight, American versus Canadian. So the top of the card is really heavily stacked. Tickets are starting at $45, which is pretty good. So February 7th, Rumble at the Rock. It hasn't been in there in years. We haven't done Rumble at the Rock in, I don't even know, 7-8 years it's been. They used to bring in Evander Holyfield, met him, Gotti, Mickey Ward and all these fighters. Yeah. But we had to pay to bring in Holyfield, and his flight and hotel isn't worth it if we don't sell the place out. Then the promoters start losing 10, 15 grand. I'm like, we're not going to bring in Holyfield because I couldn't believe not many people came to see Evander Holyfield. Like, this is in, what year was he here? Like 08 or 06 or something like that. And I'm sitting there with my buddy Jerry, and he's like, where's everybody? It's like 100 people. This is a heavyweight champion, one of the best fighters ever, and nobody was there. So it's Vancouver's not a huge boxing scene either, though, right?
You snooze, you lose, right?
Yeah. So they're bringing it back. No legends on this card, but I think if they start getting a good crowd, start building some steam, maybe they bring in somebody. I don't know.
No, the reality is you got to run shows in order to have people become used to it, right? Mm-hmm. If you're running a show every 4 or 5 months, people forget about you. That's just the way this world is.
Yep.
It's a very short attention span, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can do something really, really bad or feel really displaced about something that you did and society shunning you and pointing their finger. It
Mm.
wasn't 4 months. Everyone forgets now,
Yep, exactly. We move on, right? Move on to the
right?
next
So
controversy.
there's got to be more that they have to do in terms of bringing more shows here, man. Just not once every 5 years or this and that. So
It's hard because it costs so much money, and if you don't get a good turnout, you start losing 5, 10 grand. So guys are like, we're gonna risk that. That's
that's
the
why you got to
problem.
start small, right?
Yeah,
Start
which is
small.
hard though. Even small, not many people are showing up to the boxing shows. It depends, but
It depends who's there too, right?
the
Nobody
rent of
wants.
these buildings are very high too, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Vancouver's not cheap.
Well, if you want to rent the River Rock Casino, it's like 15K. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, I know that's what I'm saying.
So ideally, hopefully, we can get a lot of people in there, man. It'd be really good to see. I'm hoping
Yeah,
that we can attend and be there as well to check this out and support.
absolutely.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, brother man, I tell you what, it's been a great show. I really enjoyed this
Yeah,
one.
it's a
It's
good
been
one.
insightful, a lot of good times. We both agree Inoue is going to knock out Kim in about 6 to 7 rounds,
Yeah,
probably. But never say never. We never know, right? I
you never
mean,
know.
like I said, Neri, Fulton, you think Tapias, you look at all these guys that he fought before going into this fight. Those were the harder fights,
Yeah, Donaire,
definitely,
Nino Donaire, he knocked him down. So,
right? So let's see how this plays out. But a well rested Inoue is a scary Inoue,
oh yeah,
right? So, poor Sam Goodman, he's missed out his chance here. But hey, here you go, Mr. Kim. Well, guys, I think it's time to wrap up this episode of Samp&Chance Boxing. Guys, I am Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels.
and in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you guys. Again, I'll stress this: patience and hard work. Just this is the mantra of 2025. Patience and hard work. What does that mean? Keep working hard, have your faith, never give up on your faith,
Yeah,
but never give up on your patience, because God will reward you if you work hard. He does not reward you regardless of what you hear, regardless of what you listen to. This is the only truth. He will reward you with your hard work.
yeah,
That's the bottom line. It's been proven through the annals of time. Well, why doesn't God, help me, only help the rich? Well, you don't know how hard those people work to get to where they were.
exactly, exactly.
Jeff Bezos, hate him, like him, whatever. The guy worked out of his apartment, 1 bedroom apartment, to build what Amazon is today.
Yep.
Right? Elon Musk worked in a garage with PayPal, built up the man works hard. You
Oh yeah,
don't.
they all do.
They all work super hard, even to this day, with everything that they've attained. So that's the subscription. Work hard, have your patience, your dues will come.
Well said.
Samp&Chance are out.